Welcome back to another Witcher lore video, guys. So I'm continuing with my Witcher religions series, and I was considering what video to make today, and after thinking through it all, looking at all the religions in the Witcher universe, I thought that this religion would be a really fun one to make. As this religion is not nearly as widely worshipped as, say, the Church of the Eternal Fire or the goddess Melitele, but it's still a fairly popular religion and kind of works on a more secretive and mysterious level compared to these other religions. But anyway, I've decided to make today's video on the cult of the Lionheaded Spider, or as it is also known, the cult of coram tera. Anyway, very little about this religion is revealed in the games or the books, so most of this information has been gathered from the tabletop game The Witcher Game of Imagination. However, even though I said there isn't much information from the games or the books, there is still some information from them, and I'll go over that information after I've gone over the information from the tabletop game. So to begin, the people who worship coram tera believe him to be the Great Weaver, whose job is to weave the fate of humans into his great web. Coram tera's job is not a simple one, as he must constantly expand and correct his web. Sometimes the thread of this web can even break, and this is generally if someone were to, say, commit suicide, and then after that person committed suicide and entered the afterlife, they would be devoured by Coram for breaking their thread. The temples of Coram are generally full of human bones and skulls, and generally the way these temples are lit up is by a green fire. So you get the picture, this religion is quite creepy compared to, say, all the other ones. This cult was founded in the year 611 by a merchant known as Ambrosio, and he founded this cult in Laredo, Gesso, along with 8 other worshippers. After only a short while, more and more people joined this cult. Most of the people joining this cult were members of nobility due to the fact that a new religion was considered exotic and mysterious to them. However, when word of this new religion reached the ears of the priests of Creve and royal officials, many of this religion's believers were tortured. At the time, nearly all members of the town council and the leaders of most guilds worshipped this god, and after nearly all of the members were captured, including Ambrosio himself, they were burned at the stake. Luckily for this cult, however, a few members survived, and after fleeing to the northern kingdoms, they began to spread word of the cult across the continent. Learning from their previous experiences, the members of this cult decided that it would be best to build their temples outside of the main towns or cities, and instead build them in mountain valleys, swamps, or forests. So pretty much any area that isn't habited by humans, but isn't uninhabitable. Unlike most organized religion in the Witcher universe, this religion had no established hierarchy. And most temples don't maintain contact with each other, so there isn't a leader and the temples don't really work together. They're all pretty standalone, and the cult kind of operates in their own isolated bubbles. Due to the fact that this religion is banned in most of the northern kingdoms, the priests cannot be easily identified as they do not wear a special set of robes. Apart from when they do their rituals, they do wear a set of robes, but obviously the rituals are very hidden and only for members of the church. One point to also note is that as time has passed, these priests are not as widely persecuted as they used to be, and in some places are even permitted to preach openly. However, a lot of them simply won't take that risk. As a final point from this tabletop game, we also know that the general worshippers of this religion are those who have lived through some kind of tragedy. For example, the death of a close family member or friend. However, this religion is also generally worshipped by those who are in constant contact with death, such as those who enjoy to inflict pain, like soldiers, bandits, or executioners. Most members are drawn to this cult due to its vision of the world, where death is considered a constant and required part of reality. Priests of this religion are also permitted to keep Coram's web clear by breaking the threads of some people. And obviously the implication I'm giving you there is that they're willing to kill people to keep the web clear. So I just want to quickly interject here and say that this god is a giant spider, just to clarify for you guys. I also want to say that the symbol for this religion is a spider web, which is obviously the great web that is all of human fate. And this god is also the patron for death, cruelty, and destiny. And finally, this religion's military arm is the worshippers themselves. They are very dedicated. So that's all the information from the tabletop RPG, and honestly I think it's all so interesting. This religion is not explored in the games or the books at all, but I just think that it is such a cool little thing to have in the Witcher universe. It really does make the world even more in depth, and the fact we don't explore it in any way but there is still lore behind it is such an interesting thing for me, as it has no effect on the games or the books as a whole really, but it's obviously had some effect on the world. Now for the games, all this information is taken from The Witcher 1, as this cult is not mentioned in The Witcher 2 or 3. So in The Witcher 1, this cult actually has a lair in the sewers of Vizima, and is later mentioned in a letter which can be found on a dead knight, who is also in those sewers. So just to continue with that point, there is actually one of these cultists' lairs, I guess you could say, or is actually known as the cultist crypt in Vizima's sewers, and you can actually go there in the game. It is actually not an official quest to go to this sewer, it's sort of an extra thing you can do if you just decide to, but effectively, after you find this dead knight of the order and you loot the key off his body, you can then use it to unlock the gate to the Lionhead spider's cultist lair. There is actually quite a lot of the Lionhead spider cultists in this crypt, and they are jealously guarding their stashes of alchemical ingredients, jewelry, and money. So this shows us that the people that are part of this cult have clearly got some sort of business going on, or they're at least storing all their valuables down there. And this crypt also contains a lot of suet mushrooms. And another part of this crypt is that there are also 7 Ardable stone walls in this crypt, and you must break through them in order to be able to assault the cultists and claim their valuables as your own. And weirdly enough, in this crypt, there are 2 circles of elements, 1 circle of lifeless air, and 1 circle of inner fire, which is quite interesting because it shows that where these cultists have set up their base is at least a place that has some kind of magical presence. So perhaps this cult may have even dealt with magic. We also know that the witch Abigail is a member of this religion, as near the end of Act 1, if Geralt decides to let her be lynched by the town members, she curses him in the name of the Lionhead spider, Black Legba. There is also a journal entry about this religion from The Witcher 1, which I will read to you now. Coram tera, called the Lionhead Spider, is a cruel deity who expects bloody sacrifices from his worshippers. The cult of the Lionhead Spider is banned, and there are but a few places in the world where its adherents can openly declare their faith. Temeria strives to eradicate belief in the Lionhead Spider, and the cultists are tried as murderers. So an interesting piece of trivia that I actually find really interesting is that the name Coram tera has not actually been translated from Polish to English correctly. So if you were to translate Coram tera completely from Polish to English, it would actually read Coram ter. And it doesn't have much meaning behind it, but I find it quite interesting that even after they realised this, they never remedied it in the books. So I guess for all of us English speakers, we'll just continue calling him Coram tera. For my final point, this religion is mentioned only once in the books, and this is during The Last Wish, when a priestess from a temple in Mert laid a curse on Nivellen after he had forceful intercourse with her. But I will discuss the story of Nivellen at a later date. Anyway guys, I hope you've all enjoyed today's video. Honestly, I love these little lore videos, as I say. It's not a massive part of the games or the books, but just exploring this lore and stuff that you guys probably won't know is the best thing for me, as I just feel like it enriches the world as a whole significantly more. So I'm honestly glad to make this video and cover this subject. As always guys, if you've enjoyed today's video, be sure to click the like button, as it does actually help out the channel a lot, and if you click the like button, I'll continue doing these videos, and I know that you'll enjoy them. So if you enjoyed today's video, had a nice time, enjoyed what I've made, I'd appreciate liking the video, and if you didn't like it, tell me where you'd like me to improve. But anyway, thank you for doing that. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're new. I do high fantasy lore videos every few days. I do Elder Scrolls, I mainly do The Witcher, I also do gameplay, so if you're interested in any of that, be sure to click the subscribe button. It's just below the video, and that's really kind of you, so thank you to every single one of you who is subscribed and who will subscribe. So thank you so much. Also, of course, be sure to go and follow me on Twitter whenever anything interesting is happening, whenever I go live on Twitch, whenever I need to do updates for things. For example, I wanted to change my name on Twitch recently, so I asked you guys on Twitter, I did a poll, you guys voted, then I changed my name accordingly. So if you want to make sure you have your say in those kind of things, also want to make sure that you don't miss the videos, as I also post them on Twitter, be sure to go and follow me on there. So thank you guys. Also, of course, be sure to follow me on Twitch. I now have a schedule on Twitch, so I do live streams on a regular basis, so if you guys don't want to miss those, be sure to follow me and you'll get the notification when I do go live. I plan to play God of War on there soon, Bloodborne, Uncharted, possibly even the Zelda game on a Nintendo Switch. I'm also going to be playing Gwent, Dark Souls, and any other game you guys feel like you want me to play, and that'll be really fun. I get to chat to you guys get to ask me about the channel, ask me any lore questions. We have such a cool time on there, so if you want to make sure you don't miss those streams, be sure to go and follow me on there. As always, always, the links for everything I talk about in this outro are down in the description, and they're also on my channel page. And finally, a big thank you to the Patreon pledges. You guys are honestly amazing. It's so kind what you do. You help the channel out. It really helps me out. It's just a great thing for you guys to do, and I just want to say thank you to every single one of these names. I'm glad to put every single one of you at the end of these videos, as it's just such a kind thing that you guys do. If any of you out there watching want to donate to me on Patreon, get your name at the end of every single video, get to see the thumbnail of the video a day before it comes out so you know what the video is going to be sure to go and check the link in the description and donate to me on Patreon. Thank you so much to everyone that does that. Thank you so much to everyone that's watched today's video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have an awesome rest of the week.